Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to episode 417 of the Hoots Podcast. Coming to you live and living color from the Break Free Room here in Chicago, Illinois. Thursday, June 13th, 2024. And we are officially now 83 weeks away from the final edition of the podcast at Hoots. Pretty significant episode this week, with it being the countdown going down to 83. Many of you guys know that one of my favorite wrestling podcasts out there is 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff, and it's very timely. Coincidence here that we are 83 episodes away from the final episode of this show. Especially with everything going on with this Who Killed WCW show that's on Vice. I haven't really had a chance to watch the series so far because I was in Florida last week, obviously, and I'm glad to be back home. I had a wonderful time. I didn't know how much I needed that trip for my mental health, and a lot of other reasons as well, but I'm glad to be back home. I had a great time. Everything that I could have imagined for this trip went in a positive direction for me. I have no complaints, no regrets. It was a very special time for me. Got to do some cool stuff. Got to go to the WWE Performance Center for the first time. That was cool. Got this sweet Macho Man shirt at Hulk Hogan's one of his t-shirt shops. And yeah, man, I'm glad to be back home. A lot of stuff to talk about in the world of professional wrestling. Obviously, we got Clash of the Castle coming up this Saturday. I'll be covering that PLE live for WrestlingHeadlines.com. Just make sure to check out the results section of WrestlingHeadlines.com. You can see my transcripts there. Just like you can see for Raw, what? SmackDown, what? NXT, what? Just like the Battleground show that I did for my hotel room on Sunday. I had that article out there for you guys to check out as well. But thank you all for hopping on with us today. This is episode, like I said, episode 417 of the Hoots Podcast. And I want, for those who are watching or listening to us for the first time, please do us two favors. One, make sure to, as a combo thing, make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, come say hello. Ask me a question during this live recording. And if you have any predictions for Clash of the Castle, love to see what's on your guys' mind, positively, negatively. Maybe I could give you a different perspective than the also typical IWC jargon. I like to have nuanced conversations. That's what we do here on the Hoots Podcast. I'm not going to come here and try to act like my shit don't stink and I know more than you. We're just here to have some fun. But like I said, I'm glad to be back. I didn't need any more like evidence or proof that I wanted to move to Florida. There wasn't any last needed confirmation things that I needed for myself to know that this was the right move for me. This is something I've been planning for a long while now, and it's something I've been wanting now for almost 10 years. And knowing everything that is going on in my personal life that I won't expand on here because it's really nobody's business. This is the right time for me, and I'm making the right decision for myself. And one thing I do like to stress and convey this message out to people that are watching or listening to us for the first time, regardless of the situation is professionally or personally, I must beg to you to listen to your heart, because your heart won't lie to you. You have to listen to what is best for your heart and what you want out of yourself. We get slapped, and you need to start listening to yourself and living on your own terms. And I've weighed the pros and cons. This is a big decision to move out of Chicago, and I understand what could and could not go wrong or right or whatever. But at the end of the day, what's the point of me living if I don't see shit through? And that's really where my heart's at right now. And I had to listen to my heart, whether people agree with that or not. It's really none of my concern at this point. I I don't have anything left for me in Chicago anymore as I speak to you at this current juncture. All I'm doing right now, the podcast, the transcripts, all the wrestling stuff, I could be doing it in any part of the country right now. And I just feel like I'm wasting more and more time the longer I stay here. So now that I'm back, now my main priority is just, take care of my business, make sure that I'm saving as much money as I can, do some more research, make sure I'm fully as prepared as I need to be, and just have some fun. I'm in a really good place. This trip was it was very nice. I my main intention going down there was to celebrate my 30th birthday, and I feel like I have. I really took this time to take a step back and kind of think about the year that I just went through, where I am right now with my health. How do I see myself personally and emotionally? And I'm in a really good place. I think what went down with the trip just kind of gave me like some good validation that I didn't know that I needed at that time, and like my heart's in the right place. I'll focus on the right things. I'm taking care of me. And for the first time in my life, I feel like I love who I am, and um, you know, it's not easy for everybody because we all go through shit. It's not like I don't deal with problems, or it's not always rainbows and butterflies in my world, but it could be a lot worse. And you know, um, for however the rest of this year goes by, as I start getting into this transformation process and getting ready to move, I just really want to take this time to just really cherish what I do have, and that's having my feet on the ground, have some fun, pump out some good ass transcripts, continue to record this podcast. The fact that this show is close to getting 1.4 million downloads when it's not on a big network or anything like that is wild to me. Think about that, guys. Collectively, 1.4 million plays and downloads for this particular podcast. It makes no sense to me. I like to say, oh, I knew this all along, and yeah, I shouldn't be surprised that I'm getting these numbers, but it's wild. Like, I don't have a blue check mark on Twitter. I don't have all this clout. I don't have gazillion people reaching me out and blowing up my phone all day on X and Instagram and all this shit. We're doing pretty decent, I guess, on YouTube. If you want to subscribe, please smash the subscribe button so you don't miss any episodes. Don't forget to press that bell notification as well so you don't miss on any new content that's uploaded onto the channel. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so be nice to start boosting that up. But going back to what I was saying, like my feet is on the ground, and really right now my main priority is just to be present and enjoy the remaining time that I am having here in the city. And you know, got to check out some good restaurants down in Florida. That was very nice. The rest I'll keep to myself. But how cool this Macho Man shirt is, by the way. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, I think it's like a rite of passage. If you're a wrestling fan, you should at least get one Macho Man t shirt. You know, that's how I look at it. But all that being said, like I said, if you guys are enjoying the show, if you have any questions throughout the show, if you're watching live on Twitter, I put the recording link on my page at the Hoots Podcast. You can follow me there, by the way, and you can come on and shoot the show with me. I'm open to anybody. There's nobody's unwelcome on this podcast, so I put the live recording link out there for anybody that wants to come on the show. And yeah, that's that. Really quick, a couple of things I wanted to mention before we get into our first segment of the show. I know Father's Day is coming up, and my old man is turning 50 this year. His birthday is coming up on Saturday. So I got Clash of the Castle plus my dad's 50th birthday coming up. My Titi Lucy gave me this wonderful pack of old photos of mine when I was a baby and stuff like that. She gave me this like pink bag, so showing a little evidence here. But wanted to give a shout out to my old man. Getting to reconnect with him over the years has been very nice, and um, our journey it hasn't been always rainbows and butterflies, but I'm very grateful for a lot of things that's gone on in my life with my old man. And turning 50 is a big year. It really is. So I want to give shout out to my pops. Like he's one of the main people in my life that I look up to, and I always have a fun time with him when I go help him out with his work stuff. And uh, I definitely would say he's probably like my number one fan out of everything that I do. It's always my old man. So I want to give a shout out to him. Um, with it being Throwback Thursday and Father's Day coming up, I wanted to show you guys this old picture of me and my dad. So this right here is from June 26, 1994. Sorry to make everybody feel old here, but this is me as a baby and not even 1 month year old with my dad. So this is a nice little picture here to reminisce here on Father's Day weekend coming up soon. So I hope all of you guys enjoy your time with your fathers and stuff like that and cherish them because we only get one. And got tomorrow's not guaranteed, So appreciate what you have, and also want to give a shout out to my Wello as well. Here's another one with me and my Wello. So shout out to him. Anyways, glad to be back here on the podcast. It's Hoots. Time to get into some wrestling talk. And when we come back, we'll get into what happened this week in WWE. We'll be right back in just about 30 seconds. Yeet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 417 of the Hoots Podcast here, right? Ready to get into what happened this week in WWE. As I'm looking down my screen here on StreamYard, it looks like we have somebody popping up here. Let's see who it is. Who could it possibly be? No! What's going on, man?
What's going on, Luz? What's going on?
You sound good, man. How's it going?
Everything's good. How you doing?
Not too bad, man. I got the jet lag out of me. Yesterday I walked for 15 miles, so I'm all back to feeling normal and stuff. So good to be home. Yeah, good to be back home. Got it's crazy. Even on vacation, I did some work. I did SmackDAHN. Had to get that late because I was having some Wi-Fi issues. Then I did Battleground live Raw before I started packing because I had an early flight on Tuesday. Then did NXT that night when I came back, and the world of wrestling doesn't stop, man. It just doesn't. So even I try to keep
No, it
busy.
doesn't. I mean, especially now. I mean,
Yeah, it's wild.
so if
So
Orlando
what's
was good to you,
Yeah, it was very good to me. That's where I got this shirt, this Macho Man shirt, little retro one. I think it's just like a rite of passage for any wrestling fan to get yourself a Macho Man shirt, and I got this with my best friend down there, and we had a good time at the Hogan shop, which was pretty nice. All that being said, man, what's going on with you, man? How's things up there in Rhode Island, my man?
everything's good. I mean, the weather's good. It's June. It's getting a little hot up here now, so it's definitely going to be a nice summer. That's how I'm looking at it. I mean, the way I'm looking at it too, like Kobe's number was 24, so obviously 24 is one of my numbers. So it's got to be. I looked at this year as nothing but a positive year.
Yeah, it's good vibes so far. Already halfway through the year. All right,
Yeah.
let's get to it. Let's get into some wrestling talk, shall we? Since this is a wrestling podcast. It's a little different recording the shows now that I don't do what the hell's wrong with AEW anymore. I mean, I think the
I
answer has
missed the
already been
segment.
answered. I think the answer to that question has already been answered to the point that I'm not doing the segment anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame you.
I wouldn't wish watching Dynamite on my worst enemy. That's just how bored I am with that show. It's like watching paint dry. Like I can't do it. And
It's just
great!
inconsistent.
Oh, it's so great. My guy Shingo Takagi is gonna job out to Orange Cassidy in the Owen. Great.
I was
I'm
just
gonna
gonna
for that.
I was just gonna bring that up. It was like, how do you feel about Shingo being in the Owen Hart tournament? Because I already see how that could possibly play out, unfortunately.
Yeah. AEW's attempts of doing tournaments is a slap in the face to New Japan, who actually puts on real good tournaments. And my man, referee Tony would attest to that as well.
Absolutely.
It's a goddamn shame. But anyways, we're not here to talk about Outlaw Machos. This is a WWE segment. So since you hopped on, Chris, in the words of Cody Rhodes, what would you like to talk about?
I mean, the future, I mean, it's going to be an interesting year for WWE. I mean, they're just absolutely printing money right now. Like, this is some of the stuff that we've seen over the last year and a half has been absolutely incredible. Like what Triple H is doing and Nick Khan's doing and how the business is just growing. It's just incredible to see. I mean, how can you not be a fan of that? And
Right.
the thing is, like, all three brands are doing terrific.
Yeah, in their own way. You know, it's a little different. Like on SmackDown, I kind of have like a semblance of old school pro wrestling, like
Yeah.
the angles and stuff like that. Then you got Raw, who has more of the Attitude Era kind of flair of sports entertainment going on, and then you got all the promo guys are on there, and you're still getting good matches on Raw. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's not good
Yeah.
wrestling on Raw. Then you got NXT, uh, which I think, at least from my objective opinion, from covering the shows each week, I think NXT is the most consistent show out of the three brands right now, and
I
like
can't
you said,
disagree with you there. I mean, they've been absolutely cooking. And my whole thing is I feel like they've taken a little bit of a hit in the draft, but
yeah,
they're gonna find a way to elevate guys. They're gonna restock the talent. I mean, if you're a free agent, how could you possibly even like pass on the opportunity of going to NXT? Like, they're doing incredible stuff right now. And
yeah,
especially when they make the transition over to not have Rick Williams like a part of that
right.
and have him as the lead face of that.
No, you're right, man. And Ethan Page said it perfectly when they had that face off. I was at the show last week, and he was saying like you mentioned, all these people left in the draft. You have prime real estate at the top of the heap there for at least the NXT championship division. And yeah, like Shawn Michaels is not going to lead you astray. The fact that Shawn
No,
Michaels is
he's not. I
capable,
mean,
yeah.
that whole
No, go ahead.
Ethan Page segment, that contract signing was incredible.
Right. Well, my point I was gonna make is like Shawn Michaels is capable of having three different or almost four different female storylines and feuds amongst one 2 hour show. It's like asking for the world for AEW to do that on their programming. It's like night and day on how Shawn Michaels treats the women compared to AEW. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy Tony Storm and Mariah Bay's Waterfall as much as anybody, but it's the same shit every single week. And I don't even watch Collision to know if it's worth the fuck at this point. So like, it's a little different
I
now.
mean,
But
the way I'm looking at it, it's the summertime. I can catch Collision on Sunday morning, if anything. Like, I'd rather be at a barbecue at this point than watch Collision on Saturday night.
what's funny about that is that so I know that the 1 year anniversary of Collision is coming up this weekend. I know that because I was at the first Collision show, which was at the United Center, and this is the picture I took of CM Punk when he made his entrance at that show.
Wow.
I have it in a frame here in my office, and um, it's crazy to think about this. A new show debuted. CM Punk just came back to AEW after the Brawl Out nonsense, and here we are. He's about to probably
A
come
year
back for
ago.
this pay per view. Yeah, crazy how time works. You know what I mean? So I want
A
to ask you
year
this.
ago.
I want to ask you this because I see this running topic, and I've been hearing this a lot on similar shows like this. I want to get your perspective on it. Are you with the whole narrative that there's a lull going on within WWE post WrestleMania? Do you feel like things are running through the motions, or just waiting for people to come back? Where do you stand on that whole argument? Because there's still a lot of stuff on, like you said, on the program that I'm enjoying. I'm still having a good time covering these shows each week. Yeah, it's work related. I'm getting paid for it, but it's not. Even as a fan, like, I'm still having a fun time seeing where things are going, and I do appreciate that a lot of the mid card talent, whether it's female or male, are getting more of a shine right now. Maybe you don't have as hot as feuds for the world titles on prospective brands, but do you feel like we're in this lull and that things are stale and yada yada yada, all this like jargon I've been seeing on X recently? What's your stance on all that?
I've been interested in everything since WrestleMania. Like, it's fresh. I mean, talent are getting opportunities to main event and just close out shows. I mean, it's so refreshing. Like, especially with the bloodline stuff. Like, we're not even in the end of the first inning of this, and like the minute Roman comes back, shit's gonna just pop off. Like, it's gonna be so damn good. Like, between that, you have the Braun Breaker build up,
right? You got Braun Breaker. You got
and we don't know what that exactly is.
Right.
Dragunov has been great.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on right now. Really quick, I don't want to give away my CLAHN of the week, but I heard a just absolutely ridiculous take on the bloodline the other day on Busted Open, and I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm going to say that too once I get into that segment. But all right, let's do this. Since I'll have you on for this segment here, Chris. What before we get to Saturday, let's talk a little bit about Battleground. I haven't had a chance to give my thoughts on the pay per view. I talked about already my experience at the PC, but let's talk about the pay per view. What did you like or didn't like from Sunday in Vegas?
I mean, there was nothing for me to dislike. I thought the show was very smooth, very well paced. Overall, I mean, to have Lola Vice go over Shayna Baszler and just make her a bigger star than what she currently is. The women's ladder match was great. Everybody shined. Kalani Jordan is going to be a great champion. Jada Parker really has a great aura about her. And Trick Williams just continues to be a great, face for that brand.
Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed the ladder match that kicked off the show. I know it's been like a broken record now at this point, but it's true that NXT has the best women's division in all professional wrestling. Just think about the depth across the board. You got Sol Ruka, you got Lash Legend. Uh, I've really taken a liking to Jada Parker recently. If you want to talk about characters, they're all about things being on site and like that standing on business. She's a antithesis of that. She's fantastic. Yeah, seeing Sol Ruka do the
I'm a
story.
Jasmine Nix stan.
Yeah, I know.
Jasmine Nix stan. I am.
I'm a JC Jane stan, so I'm glad that she's back on my TV screen. But seeing Sol Ruka do the stole snatcher off the ladder was just insane. Just the timing and the athleticism to pull that off is interesting. I'll be honest. I wasn't upset with the decision. I think Kalani Jordan does deserve it to a certain extent. With it being the first championship, you probably wanted like an upcoming babyface. I understand the decision. I would have went with Fallon Henley. That would have been my pick for the match, but I'm not like one of those wrestling fans. Oh, my bookie didn't go the way I wanted, so that means the match sucked or it didn't make sense. It's one of the laziest arguments out there when it comes to these shows. Oh, the bookie didn't go the way I wanted, so it doesn't make sense. No, I get it.
I saw a lot of that this week.
What else is new?
Especially when Wesley got attacked.
Oh yeah, a heel group attacking a babyface. So how does that doesn't make sense?
Well, the theory to that is they want the Rascals to come in and have Wesley's back instead of Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. But
it's not
nobody advertised the Rascals to come in yet.
Yeah, nobody said that. Again, you can't mix fantasy booking ideas as to logic of what's going on with the storyline. I can say this thing should happen. That doesn't mean that it works. Yeah, exactly. And plus, you can't say it doesn't work with the new Cash Republic because I covered NXT UK, and those guys are fighting Gallus all the time on that show. So that's something that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there's unfinished business there.
Right. Really quick, a couple other takeaways from the pay-per-view from my end. The tag match I thought was decent with Good Brothers and Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Those matches, especially with that tag team, is kind of hard for me to do because they move so fucking fast. Like, don't get me wrong, I get it, that's their gimmick. But like trying to process like the sequences where they're going back and forth and doing the same moves at the same time, it's like even for myself, I pride myself on typing fast, but I don't want to start getting a headache as if I'm playing like a Call of Duty game and it's going in a million fucking directions and I can't like focus on what I need to focus on. But that match was decent. Roxanne Perez and Jordan Grace tore the house down. That was a fantastic match. I'll admit I've missed covering Impact Weekly. I've missed having that on my schedule. I'm not covering as much shows as I used to, which was a little sucky part of when I got furloughed last year. But not complaining. Trust me, I'm grateful for the fact that I just get to cover WWE shows now. But I do miss covering Impact because I don't know what Ash by Elegance has to do with Jordan Grace. I don't know if they've been interacting with each other on these shows or not because I haven't been watching, so I'm not really sure. But Tata Paxley gets involved. Maybe she's the one that fights Jordan Grace in this open challenge. I know that they have a show here in Chicago this weekend, right? Against all odds is here. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So possibly they could have that match there, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I thought Jordan Grace carried herself in a tremendous way. It's not even close comparing how beneficial this pairing with NXT and TNA is compared to the circle jerk that was that AEW and TNA relationship during the pandemic. Like it's not even close.
I could go on about that.
It's got even worse to the point. It's got worse to the point that they neutered New Japan, and that's really saying something. But um, then you get the main event: Trick Williams and Ethan Page. Pretty solid match. Um, I know a lot of people are saying that the women's match should have main evented. I don't know if they wanted to leave the crowd with a sour taste in their mouth, knowing that Roxanne was going to retain. So I understood why Trick and Ethan were the last match. But this is a time for Trick's Sour Reign where it's just a showcase mode. Where are you? What are you besides the theme song and the charisma and stuff? This is the opportunity for him to work with a lot of different veteran talent on the roster, and for him to hone his craft to be everything that he wants to be. I'm not even going to try to say that Trick Williams is not a good wrestler or anything like that, because I don't believe that's true. He's put on some really good matches this year so far, and we'll see what happens with this Battle Royal coming up next week on Tuesday, because they got the Heat Wave show in Toronto right after Money in the Bank, so that's gonna be pretty cool. But yeah, I understood why Trick main evented, and I thought it was a solid show. I think some people maybe got into their feelings with too many expectations, and you know how it is when you try to overhype something instead of watching it and processing as it's happening, you find yourself being disappointed. So I enjoyed Battleground. I wouldn't say it was the best show of the year or anything like that, but I had a good time covering it on Sunday, and I thought it was a good show. All right, before we get to Clash of the Castle, since I have you here, Chris, I need your opinion on all this stuff going on with Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. Can you tell me what's going on, man?
Oh man, it's as a fan, it's killing me because I absolutely love Liv Morgan. But I mean, it's a great story overall. It's entertaining as hell, and it's gonna be even more entertaining when Rhea comes back. I'm interested to see how this fits with Damian Priest, what the outcome is, because JD's involved, Finn's involved, Dom's involved, Liv's involved, and Damian wants nothing to do with this fiasco.
Exactly.
As he should not. So it's going to be interesting leading up to what happens going forward with the Judgment Day.
Yo, with the I gotta give her credit, man. She's doing some good work, man. The temptation is there. I'll admit I would fold if I was in that position.
I would have folded like an accordion the first move.
The first move. Yeah, the first glance is like, nah, forget about it. I'm done.
First glance, I would have folded like an accordion.
That's funny, man. I've been enjoying that. It looks like Finn Balor either is trying to be like a cock blocker, or maybe he's the one that actually has the hots with Liv Morgan. Because here's the thing. Yeah, I get it on the surface. Her intention is to take everything away from Rhea Ripley. But on the outside of it, when Rhea Ripley comes back, and then you have that little plight in between, does Dominic decide to turn on Rhea, or Liv turns on Dominic with Finn Balor? You have that to play into the situation here. I haven't heard people talk about that yet, but think about it. He's the one trying to get in the way. Maybe he was the one that took that hotel room key, right? That's what happened on Monday. He took the key card.
Yeah, if you go back on Monday night, I thought Dom took the key back. It was actually Finn who took the damn key.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting how that plays out. And like you said, you feel like there's going to be a split in the Judgment Day between Finn and JD, and then you're going to have Priest and Rhea on the other side. And if you know, Rhea treats Damian Priest like a brother on and off screen. So if you follow the story, then you know what's possibly coming.
Yeah, and Finn right now would be the guy left out high and dry. So why not attach yourself to Liv Morgan and kind of pull the ruse over Dominic in a lot of ways because he's young, he's naive, and I think we're in for some good stuff. I'm really curious to see how this feud plays out through the rest of the summer. I don't know when Rhea Ripley is coming back, but I've been enjoying what I've been seeing so far on TV. It's some good shit, if you will. All right, Chris. Before I let you go, we're gonna make some quick picks here for the Clash of the
It's going to be on
Castle.
site.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be on site. Speaking of things being on site, we have Sami Zayn against Chad Gable for the Intercontinental Championship. Another storyline that's been cooking up on a positive end for the last couple of months, especially tension between the Alpha Academy. People are just waiting for Otis to just lay out Chad Gable, which is what I like about Triple H and the whole thing with the long term storytelling and stuff like that. If you recall the last Clash of the Castle, one of the things that really made that show stand out, besides the Gunther and Sheamus match, was the other stuff that happened in between the show, where Dominic initially turned on Edge and Rey Mysterio that same night. Now you can flip the script now in a babyface way, where Otis turns on Chad Gable, and here's the thing, is this something where um, Chad's anger gets the best out of him and he gets himself disqualified? You know, does he win the title outright from Sammy? Is there a loophole that maybe this ends up in a draw, a time limit draw, or something like that? That's a possibility. Um, is there any way that this match doesn't have a decisive winner and then you conclude it in Canada, in Toronto? Then that's where Chad Gable gets the Intercontinental Championship. But I I do think that Otis may snap on Saturday, and I'm here for it. But part of me still feels that Sami Zayn is gonna walk out of Glasgow still the IC champion. What do you think?
I think you laid out a really good scenario where you could pull off the possible DQ and then you run it back one more time at Money in the Bank, but possibly maybe a stipulation, maybe an Iron Man match, maybe a 2 out of 3 falls, something in that nature. But if this is the end of the road to Sammy and Chad Gable, it's fine. It's been a great program. If they can extend it for another month or so, I'm all for it. So I'm gonna roll with Sammy. I feel like Otis is gonna snap on Gable.
Oh yeah, it's definitely happening. Long before you know it, man, it's going to happen. All right, next one. This one I'm really intrigued by, just from a transcript points of view, and that is the women's championship match between Bayley and Piper Niven. Um, One of my takeaways from SmackDown is just how annoying that crowd in Louisville was towards Piper Niven. Why am I not surprised that a bunch of hicks were wutting Piper Niven? But that's neither here or there. I like this for the clash of styles, pun intended. Like I think this is a different type of match. Obviously, this is not gonna be a long time feud. I do think Bayley will win here, but having a showcase match for Piper Niven in that setting, I still think the UK crowd's gonna cheer for Bayley. They usually do that with all those PLEs out there in the UK. So I don't think this is a scenario where Bayley's gonna be booed out of the building or anything like that. I am kind of curious to see how the atmosphere of this show is going to be, because last time they had Clash of the Castle, it was in a stadium. This one is in a regular basketball arena. So I'm kind of curious to see how the fans are going to be this time compared to where it was a couple years ago. But anyways, I'm intrigued for it just from a transcript point of view, but I do think this is a nice tune-up for Bayley before she fights Nia Jax at SummerSlam. So I got Bayley retaining. What about you?
I got Bailey retaining as well because you have a story there that goes all the way back to NXT with Nia and Bailey. And I mean, I think Nia is just on an absolute tear right now. I love the promo from Piper Niven on SmackDown.
Bailey is I know a lot of people are saying that her title reign's been cold lately, but I wouldn't say that. It's very hard to like just have instantaneous like takes or stances on somebody's title reign 2 months in. You know what I mean? If we really think about it, if we take a step back, guys, WrestleMania was 2 months ago. So I don't. Maybe it's just me. I'm different in that way than most content creators that do this stuff for a living. But like, I don't need to say like, oh, this title reign sucks. Oh, this program is cold. Like, it's barely 2 months in since she won the title at WrestleMania. Like, I'm sure it hasn't been rainbows and butterflies. I'm not saying it's great or anything, but to say it's horrible and it's cold and flat and blah 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 blah, I just don't agree with that. I know a lot of people want to get like the tag titles off of Austin Truth. Like, yeah, they had the moment at WrestleMania, but now it's time to take the titles away from them. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But let's continue on here. Um, we have the triple threat tag match for the women's tag team titles: Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill against the Unholy Union, and Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Three-way triple threat Jones here. It's pretty simple. We don't have to expand too much on this. Bianca and Jade all the way.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm just going to be very curious to see who could potentially knock off Jade and Bianca for those tag titles. It's going to take a hell of a duo to do that.
Mm-hmm. It'd be funny if it was Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. Think about that as a tag team.
That would be very interesting. I mean, it would be a full circle. I mean, full circle moment.
Full circle Jones, man. All right, man. Let's go to the next one here. Cody Rhodes against AJ Styles. I am rocking the purple today, not only just to honor the Macho Man shirt that I got in Florida, but I wanted to wear purple this week because this is the colors that AJ Styles was rocking for their match in France. So excited for this one. I saw the photo. I did see it. Mama Rhodes is on her way out to Scotland. She will be there for Clash of the Castle. A lot of theories, man. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, why don't we spice it?" I guess I keep going back to this point, but like maybe I don't feel that the product is in a WrestleMania hangover or ever. But like it now people want Cody to lose the championship just so he could get it back a month later, and then these are the same people
that take today too.
They want Cody to lose the title, and then he gets it back, and then those same people are like, "Oh, you're playing hot potato with the championship after Roman Reigns has this super long title reign." Like, come on, man. Look, I don't know if there's a way or scenario that you could convince to do a third match with Cody and AJ at Money in the Bank. I don't think that's going to happen at Money in the Bank, to be honest with you. I think this ends on Saturday. In my feelings, I think that in a way to bring Roman back into the scenario, I do think that Cody will fight Solo in Toronto. That's how I feel. I think there's a possibility maybe we could add Solo and Kevin Owens to the card on Saturday. There's only 5 matches announced so far. So maybe you have Solo and Kevin be the other match on there. And Solo beats Kevin, and that's his loophole to go after Cody at Money in the Bank. And that's where all that stuff with Roman and everybody starts coming back into the fold. But I don't see AJ Styles winning. I'm sorry. I don't think the Goof brothers are gonna drag Mama Rhodes over the barricade just to convince Cody to quit. I don't see it happening. No, we're not replaying Mankind from 1999 with the voice recording of him saying "I quit." Look, it's gonna be a dope match. I think this match probably kicks off the show, but in no scenario do I see AJ Styles walking out of Glasgow with the championship. That is a hashtag no shot.
I
Go ahead,
love
brothers.
AJ. But I mean, this is Cody Rhodes' year. This is Cody Rhodes' year. I'm going to be interested to see what's next for AJ after this program. But I mean, it's a good setup for Solo and Cody at Money in the Bank, especially if at SummerSlam you end up possibly doing The Rock and Cody. It's a possible good lead to that if that comes to fruition.
Right. All right, my man. One more match to go here. We got. Let me take a sip of water real quick. We got Damian Priest putting his World Heavyweight Championship on the line against Drew McIntyre. This one is definitely going to get a lot of people talking because a lot of things as far as all the SummerSlam stuff that we were talking about earlier with the Judgment Day dissension and yada, yada, yada. A lot of things could be coming out of this match. And I'm excited because I don't know where it's going to go. And this is the thing, even for somebody like myself that's been doing this for 10 years, like I could become one of those like jaded guys and like, oh, I know what's happening. I know what's happening. And blah, 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 blah. It's so predictable. I don't know what's going to happen in this match. I have no idea. Judgment Day can turn on Damian Priest. CM Punk can come out and cost Drew McIntyre the championship. Drew can win the match straight up, and maybe he's the one that's running the Judgment Day. Anything can happen at this point. I have no idea, but I do believe that Damian Priest will retain over Drew McIntyre. I think CM Punk will cost Drew McIntyre the championship. That program does not need the championship to have the feud itself. I'm excited for the match. It's going to be pretty cool. I think the atmosphere will be very nice for it. It's a hoss fight, so you got two big meaty men bumping meat. So shout out to Big E on that one. But yeah, bro, I'm going with Damian Priest. I think Punk cost Drew McIntyre here, and we're getting. Glasgow's gonna be pissed because that's the second time that Drew got screwed over in Scotland. So I got Priest. Who do you got?
Oh man, I honestly think that match can go either way, but I mean, that CM Punk cloud is hanging over Drew's head, and then the whole Judgment Day factor as well. I think I gotta go with Priest retaining. On top of that, too, I mean, we got that segment not too long ago between Gunther and Damian Priest. So maybe this is possibly going to lead into SummerSlam. Other than that, I mean, the World Heavyweight title scene is going to be a nice outlook when it comes to SummerSlam.
Yeah, it's gonna be on like Donkey Kong. Anyways, that is Clash of the Castle coming up on Saturday.
Is back. He's got unfinished business with Drew, and then he's got unfinished business with Punk. So,
gotcha. All right, brother. I gotta have to let you go. Your stuff is cut out. All right. I'll talk to you later, Oos. All right.
All right. All right. Take it easy, man.
See you. All right. That is the one and only Chris Aletta here. So appreciate him coming on today. And make sure to follow me on Twitter at xteamsaletta24x on Twitter if you'd like to do that. So all that being said, before we get to our main event segment, we got one more thing to do here on the podcast at Hoots, and that is to crown the winner of this week's CLAHN of the Week.
I'm not CLAHN. You're big on CLAHN.
One more time for good measure.
I'm not CLAHN. You're big on CLAHN.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the CLAHN of the week. Look, man, I didn't want to do this because I like this dude and I think he's gonna do a good job with this new podcast that he has. But yep, the clown of the week this week is gonna go to Matt Camp. Um, I had to do it. His bravado and his like I don't know his complexion on these shows and Busted Open as if he has the answers to everything related to wrestling and um, especially the stuff that he was saying about the bloodline last week on Busted Open. I'm trying to find the clip for you guys, but like it it was almost cringeworthy how like how much of a clown of a take it was. Like I'm really trying to find for you guys. Just give me a second, but yeah, really quick clown of the week definitely goes to Matt Cap, and it's not even close. Oh, here we go. I got it right here. So this is from the Saturday edition of Busted Open. So congratulations go out to Matt Cap as this week's winner of the Clown of the Week. Just listen to this nonsense. Here we go.
The head of the table is something that was Roman Reigns. That was his thing. The only person who really challenged him for that is The Rock. And that's the only two people that are believable. I don't have an issue with any of these guys. I think they're being booked very poorly. Very, very, very poorly. Because you have asked Solo Sikoa to lead a group where he's never really spoken before. That's not doing him any favors. You have brought in a tag team that if it was 5 years ago, if you had signed them, there was a little bit more buzz to the Guerrillas of Destiny. That's gone. The problem with that is there's no buzz to build off of. And now you have to get them over. But you're also trying to get Solo over as the leader of the group. And you've put Paul Heyman in this weird role where he is subservient at a time when he probably needs to be speaking more than ever. It's just a very bad mix of all of these things coming together. I know they're trying to be presented as dangerous, but I am not convinced that they're dangerous. I'm convinced that they always need each other's help.
Yep, that right there in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, is your winner of this week Clown of the Week. Goes out to Matt Cap. When we come back, we'll answer your questions in this week's edition of the Back Porch Q&A session right here on the podcast at Hoots. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the podcast at Hoots, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed the show so far. Like I said, if you guys want to come on and shoot the shit with me, you can. The recorded link is on my Twitter page if you guys would like to come on with me. So, got a couple more minutes here to go here for the podcast this week. Come on, keep it short. But again, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Got a couple other throwback pictures from that little packet that I was telling you earlier. So it's one for my Wello. Showed you one of my dad here. So his birthday's coming up on Saturday, which is pretty cool. Here's one of my Wella and me. This is July 1st, 1995. Jesus. What other ones I could find here? One of my godfather. This is Uncle Noel here. So it's cool on there. And then another one of me, my Wella. Let's see. You got any good ones? Oh, here's one. Here's one with me and my sister Alex. Alex is here. So this is a good one there. I want to give a shout out to my sister Alex and my other sister Candace. Unfortunately, they lost their dog Bobo. Unfortunately, passed away over the weekend. I haven't really wanted to expand on it because that's their. I want to respect their privacy, but I wanted to just send my thoughts to them. And losing a pet is not easy for anybody who loves animals and stuff like that. And my thoughts go out to Candace and my sister for losing Bobo. I know how much they loved him, and the good thing is that he's not in pain anymore. But I do want to give a shout out to my sister and Candace because losing pets suck. And I know they're going through it this week, so my thoughts go out to both of you guys, and I love you. Here's some other positive ones here, so we keep the positive moves here. Here's another one of me, my White Sox gear as a kid. And then we'll see another one here of me and my sister. There you go. This is one of my favorite pictures here. My sister is like my second mom in a lot of ways. She looked out for me a lot. So nice little throwback through memory lane. This is another one that popped me. My Uncle Noel and Uncle Dito swinging me around. And then I think this one's my favorite picture. You can't see my face, but it's this quintessential Joshie. So nice little trip down memory lane. Yeah, man, I'm in good spirits. Being back here after the time I had in Florida, it was very special. Got to do what I wanted to do down there. I did an apartment tour on last Thursday, which was cool. I got that done, which was very, very nice. Had a good time. Went to a mall on Sunday. I got a lot of steps into that mall. That was a good workout going there. It was hot as shit down there, but I'm not gonna complain. I gotta get used to it, especially if I could move it down there. Like the weather was what it was. No, it was a really, really good vibe. I wish I had more pictures to show you because I was at SeaWorld. I did get a chance to go to Disney Springs on Saturday. I really, when it came to this trip, I just wanted to be low radar, and I really wanted to kind of like disconnect from everything. So I wasn't really like updating where I was and what I'm doing and stuff like that. I just wanted to be off radar. I didn't even take a lot of photos of the trip, to be honest with you, because I really need that time to recharge and do some soul searching. And I think I've done that. And I got everything I wanted out of the trip for myself personally, and it was very special. And I had a great time down there. So plus getting this Macho Man shirt definitely helps as well. That was a good day as well. It looks pretty dope, right? Let me get a closer view of it, right? See that? It's pretty cool. Oh yeah, brother, dig it. Anyways, we got one more segment to do here on the podcast at Hoots, and that is the Back Porch Q&A session. As always, if you want to participate in the Back Porch Q&A session, all you have to do is hit me up at Twitter at the Hoots Podcast or the Hoots Podcast at gmail.com. All that being said, let's take a look at the questions we have here. First, start off with the good brother Chris Letta, we just saw here at XTeensLetta24X on Twitter. Make sure to follow him there. He says, "What up, Boost? Here's some questions for the Q&A this week. Your thoughts on Tanahashi's press conference last week?" Let me take a look at this because I've been seeing this on Twitter and I don't know what's going on with all of that. To be honest with you, I'm out of the loop with New Japan stuff. All right, let me take a look at this. So, all right. So 10 steps to, I guess, garner more success for New Japan in the coming months. He says talent, discovery, development. With more chances to shine the ring, young talent be able to draw more of the fan base in the near future. You'll see more chances for the young talent to wrestle in prominent spots, and a greater effort focused on discovering and developing new talent in the bid to create brand new stars. 2, elevating the value of title belts. That's another one. Third was reducing and eliminating outside interference. Well, that's something that could definitely help. God, how many freaking House of Torture matches did I have to do with those just run-ins and run-ins and run-ins? I thought I was watching the AEW show at one point. Well, I mean, New Japan is practically AEW at this point, so what's the point of bringing that up? 4, increasing the prominence and status of New Japan Hentai. That's an interesting one there. Strengthening the ties amongst those in Stardom. That's a good one. Strengthening the ties with AEW. 7 is improving the live fan experience. Improving New Japan World. Yeah, New Japan World is something that they definitely need to work on. Improved treatment of personal information and New Japan sponsorships. I mean, honestly, Chris, I think it's some rudimentary stuff here. It's really nothing earth-shattering or something that's really catching my eye. Excuse me, as far as his comments for this press conference, I mean, it's stuff that New Japan should focus on. And it's stuff that they do need to work on. But I appreciate the question. Your thoughts on Ricochet's future? Look, man, if that was his last showing in WWE, what a way to go out. Like a professional, doing what he needs to do to help the product get to where he needs. Good on Ricochet. I wish him nothing but the best. Do you think there's any chance we get Braun Breaker versus Brock? If so, when? Possibly. I say somewhere down the road we would get that, but I think we get Brock Lesnar and Gunther first before we get into Braun and Brock. Do we see Paige Van Zant in WWE eventually? I mean, with the money she's making off her OnlyFans and all that stuff, I don't see why she would need to come into WWE. Like, she's got all the money in the world that she could probably ask for with these thirsty men out there. But you know, if she wants to come to WWE, cool. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I wouldn't put any stock that that's going to happen anytime soon. So that's the best way I can answer that question. With Justin Jefferson getting his extension, who's next for this group? Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk, or CeeDee Lamb? That's a good question. Who's more desperate to get one of these receivers resigned? Is it Cincinnati or Dallas? Because in my opinion, I think CeeDee Lamb is the one that's probably more due for a contract extension. And the Cowboys definitely need something to hold on to because Dak Prescott is probably going to be leaving soon. And the future of that franchise looks very bleak in my point of view. And sorry to my boy Blake Mitchelmore, but the Cowboys are going down a bad trajectory at this point, and they need something to cling on to. So I think out of all the three that you mentioned there, Chris, I think that CeeDee Lamb is the one that's going to get the re-signing first. Thoughts on Alicia too joining AEW? Good for her. I'm happy for her. She belongs to be on television. She's very talented at what she does. She's a great interviewer. She's a good addition to that promotion, and she's fantastic. So I'm happy for her. Favorite match from Battleground? That's a good question. Surprisingly, it's from the women. I can't decide whether it's the ladder match or the Roxanne Perez Jordan Grace match. I'm gonna go with Roxanne and Jordan Grace. That was a fantastic match. Now, if you thought that match should have main evented, more power to you. I'm not gonna argue with that, but I'm gonna go with Roxanne Perez and Jordan Grace, for sure. Let's see. Highlight from your Florida trip. Good question there. My highlight, I have two. One, was getting to go to the WWE Performance Center for the first time, going inside the building and stuff like that. It was just cool being in there. So many of these years I've covered NXT and these shows, especially during the pandemic era, during that time period at that performance center. So to be there where they had the COVID WrestleMania was cool. Like I I I had a fucking blast there. I really did. Get to that experience of like taking the bus for Full Sail, and then they bring you to the performance center and going through it and the process of getting to your seats. And I love that vibe. If you live in Florida and you want an opportunity to attend these shows, they're free. Make sure you sign up to the Facebook group that they have on there for NXT. It's free of charge. You can just put in your information, and if you get approved, you have the meetup spot at Full Sail in their parking lot. Just tell them who your name is, and they give you a little wristband. They gave me one. It was a blue one, and took the bus there. Met a guy named Jerome, who used to live in Chicago. He was a pretty cool guy. And then they had like six different like shuttle buses taking people to the show. It was a packed crowd. A lot of people there. The energy is crazy. Get to see like Mike Rome and Blake Howard get to interact with the crowd during the commercial breaks. I love the atmosphere of NXT. As many of you guys know, one of my main goals in my life is to work for the WWE. So just being in the ambience and knowing that it'd be cool to be sitting where Vic Joseph is sitting, like one of these days. Let's say like I become the voice of NXT one day. Like being in that energy, like I had to be there. Like it just felt right being there at that show. It was great. It was a great way to kick off the trip. I will not lie to you. Going to my first wrestling show in almost 2 years, being there was a fucking blast, and I had a great time being at the Performance Center. I recommend it for anybody that wants to go attend an NXT show at the PC. Do it. It's fun. You don't have to pay anything, well, except wherever you're paying to go park at Full Sail, I guess. But seriously, I had a blast. It was a wonderful time, and I have no regrets for going. It was a wonderful time and a wonderful experience. So that was definitely one highlight for me. Going to SeaWorld was pretty nice. I never been to SeaWorld before, so that was pretty cool. The Hulk Hogan shop was nice as well. That was a nice night. And also, get to spend some time with my best friend too. And I'll just leave it at that. That's definitely a big highlight for me too. So, all in all, I had a great time in Florida. It was a blast, and I definitely know that I need to get back to Florida soon before I move down there. I need one more break down there before I make my full move. But I loved it. It was a great time, and again, I have no regrets. It was a lot of fun. Appreciate the question, brother. Let's go to the next one here, shall we? Just give me 1 second here. We're going to check something. All right, we're good there. All right, cool. NXT or insert into the Bloodline storyline for Hikuleo. That's a good question. I'm gonna go with the Bloodline. Unless it's something where Hikuleo goes into NXT and he gets into a feud with Obafemi, I don't see him joining NXT. So I think Hikuleo will probably be more of a heater for the Bloodline 2.0. So that's how I see that going. Who do you think will be in the Battle Royal on NXT? Well, besides the standard people from NXT, I think you maybe get somebody from Raw or SmackDown. Maybe Apollo Crews participates. Maybe you throw in Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. I know a lot of people are expecting people from TNA to join the Battle Royal, which would be interesting. To think, let's say like Josh Alexander would come into NXT and cost his former tag team title the opportunity to get another shot at the NXT Championship, and Josh being from Canada. I think he's from Toronto, if I'm not mistaken, right? Think about it. You had Trick Williams against Josh Alexander for NXT Heatwave. That will be a barn burner. So Josh Alexander would be pretty cool. I don't know if Moose will be there or Eddie Edwards or guys like that, but I'm sure there'll be some TNA influence on there. It'd be wild if it's like, oh, here comes Sami Callihan, here comes Chris Bay and Ace Austin and all these other guys. Like, don't get wrong, I'll pop, and I'm excited for that Battle Royal next week because it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, we'll see. I'm very intrigued to see how that plays out for sure. Let's continue on here, shall we? Which match are you looking forward to the most at Clash of the Castle? Besides Sammy and Gable, Chris, I am most looking forward to Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. I'm excited for that match. Really am. Appreciate you, brother, for the questions this week. Great job as always. Let's continue on here. We'll go to the last set of questions here for the good brother Mike Rubio at Main Event Swerve. Oh, yeah. Can't go wrong with water. All right. What's up, Oos? I hope all is well in your world. It is. Appreciate it, brother. It's nice to have summer underway for the most part. Here's some back porch questions for you. Number one. Drew McIntyre believes in Joe Henry. Do you? And if so, where's the craziest place you can say his name and he appears on WWE programming? Yes, I definitely believe in Joe Henry. I believe in Joe Henry. I believe in Joe Henry. Yeah, I am all in on Joe Henry. That guy is fantastic. Look, man, I said it before. If Joe Henry is one of these guys that pop up in the NXT Battle Royal, fantastic. I will pop. That would be freaking hilarious if Joe Henry were to participate in that Battle Royal. But speaking of Battle Royals, why not have Joe Henry be in the Royal Rumble? Why not? That's how I would go about it. But that'd be my guess. What are the odds Sexy Red appears on WWE TV again after her airport throwdown caught on tape? Oh God. Slim to none. Let's say that. WWE's having a knack for international events lately. Was one country or city outside of the States you would like to see the promotion visit? That's a good question. It'd be cool to see something in Portugal, or I know a lot of people say the fans in Chile are great crowds. Definitely would like to see a PLE in Japan. That'd be pretty cool. Those are the ones off the top of my head that I would like to see. Let's see what other ones here. Who'll have more success in their playing time, even if one starts and the other doesn't? Caleb Williams or Justin Fields? I'm gonna go with Caleb Williams. I know I'm working on raw potential and stuff like that, but I think in a lot of ways Caleb just passes more of the eye test more than Justin does. So I'm gonna go with Caleb. What would you like to see out of Kalani Jordan's North American title reign? Honestly, competitive matches is one thing with most title reigns, but I like to see her get to a feud that brings out another side of her personality. I think that's the biggest thing that I would like to see as times go on. Like I said, I'm happy for her. I think she deserves the opportunity to hold a championship. And like she said, it's on her to create what the importance of this title is going to be. And she's very athletic. She's cute as hell, and she's got a bright future ahead of her. So I hope nothing but the best for her. I think she's going to do fantastic. What is the deal with Ricochet? Either he is being written off in a partial public explosion of a contract ending, or are we getting worked the most since CM Punk leaving and Money in the Bank? I think he's done. I don't know if this is an angle for him to come back, because even if he does come back to try to get revenge on Braun Breaker, he's still going to lose. So, yeah, I think that'll be all for Ricochet, as my guy Jonathan Hood would say. That'll be all. Also, who do you see winning men's and women's Money in the Bank this year? Really quick. Jey Uso and Tiffany Stratton. Those are my picks. 8. 8. Does it bother you more or surprise you more that Logan Paul had a video being buddies with Donald Trump? That's a good question. Look, man, I don't like playing politics here on this podcast. You guys know how I feel about politics. I think both sides are full of their own shit. I don't rock with Republicans or Democrats, to be honest with you. I can think for myself. I can't say that I am surprised or upset. Logan Paul is a grown ass man. He can do what he wants, and if he wants Donald Trump to be a guest on his podcast, more power to him. I don't have to watch. And that's the great thing in my life right now. I don't have to acknowledge or put stock into things that I don't give a shit about. And I know the election season's coming up soon, but it doesn't, I guess what I'm saying, it doesn't have a personal effect on me. It doesn't make me look down on Logan Paul for having Donald Trump as a guest on his show. Because I don't care about Donald Trump. I don't care what he has to say. And again, I don't invest energy into shit that I don't care about. So that is as blunt as I can be in regards to that question. Does it surprise you that UConn's coach Dan Hurley basically said thanks but no thanks to the Lakers head coach job? Yes, it was. By the way, my thoughts and prayers and condolences go out to the Lakers and the NBA with the loss of Jerry West the other day. I saw that news. So I wanted to get that out there. Jerry West is one of the biggest legends in the history of sports. Passed away at the age of 86 this week. So our thoughts and prayers go out to his family. I was surprised. Now it looks like JJ Redick may be the guy that becomes the coach, which is pretty interesting. I didn't see NXT Battleground, but what did you think of the vibe at the UFC Apex for the event? Should NXT and other events take place there again? I thought it looked good visually. I guess for what I hear, that the acoustics at that building is not the greatest, so a lot of people were not thrilled, I guess, when it came to the audio presentations of the show. But I thought it was cool visually, and if that's something that they can fix down the road, definitely I'd like to see more events at the UFC Apex. I thought it looked cool visually. Kind of got the feel of the BT Sports Studio that they were doing for NXT UK for a while. So I thought it was cool visually, but you can tell that you can feel the energy of the crowd there for sure. What team would surprise you more to snag a wild card spot in the baseball playoffs, the Astros or their forever rivals, the Chicago White Sox? I'm gonna say the White Sox because the White Sox have no chance of making the playoffs. So I don't even know how that's possible for them to even contend for a wild card at this point. They're freaking brutal. They've already lost 50 games already this season. They are brutal. Is it just me or the NBA Finals kind of feel meh, if not totally lopsided? No, brother, you're not alone with that. This is one of the most indifferent NBA Finals I've felt in many, many years. Celtics will most likely sweep the Mavericks, or they'll probably just give them a sympathy victory for their game tomorrow and then push it to Sunday or Monday, I guess. But Celtics are just a far better team than the Dallas Mavericks, and I'm not surprised by it at all that they're running away with the series so far. They're already up 3-0. They got one more game to go, so we'll see how that plays out. Next question here. Think of the outlets, channels, opportunities that are out there. What would be the least or first place you would like to see the Hoots Podcast land? It's also on Amazon Music now, by the way. Thank you for pointing that out. If you could type in the Hoots Podcast, you could find the show on a lot of different places. Pandora, Amazon Music, like he said, Google Play, Spotify. We really do need to increase our followers on Spotify. So if you're watching and listening to this, please do me a favor and press the follow button for the podcast on Spotify and share the Spotify links because it's free of charge. And we do need to increase our followers on Spotify to qualify for ambassador ads and stuff like that. So if you really want to help us out with the future of the show, please follow the show on Spotify. It's free of charge. just press the follow button, please. Help a brother out here. It's a good question, brother. Look, I'm open to it being on anywhere. I know it's on iHeartRadio. You know, I think it'd be cool if maybe one of these days this podcast could be added to SiriusXM or adfreeshows.com. I think that'd be a big step for us. The one that I really would like to see for this podcast land is on the Ringer Wrestling Network on Spotify. That would be the one that I think would be really cool and help us out, take us up to the next level. And who knows, maybe continue on with the future show. Maybe we could go past 500 if we landed an opportunity like that. But that'd be, if I had my druthers, that'd be my pick to have the show break out and join the Ringer Wrestling Network and stuff like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. Or ad-free shows. After Midnight with Taylor Thompson has been renewed for a second season. Have you seen it or some viral clips online yet? No, I don't know who Taylor Thompson is, brother. I'm sorry. Finally, what would you like to see for the new season of The Bear? I can't figure this one out, and I've yet to see a trailer of it. That's another show that I haven't watched yet. But I know it's based out of Chicago, so who knows if they could do some scenes around Humboldt Park or Smith Park, where I was born and raised. That'd be pretty cool. Besides that, I don't have much to add there. But I want to thank you, brother, and I want to thank you, Chris, for the questions this week. As always, if anybody wants to participate in the Back Porch Q&A session, all you have to do is hit me up at Twitter at the Hoots Podcast and the Hoots Podcast at gmail.com. Once again, I want to give a big birthday shout out to my dad, who's turning 50 on Saturday, and a great happy Father's Day to each and every single one of you and your families. Hope you guys enjoyed Clash of the Castle. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube as we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Don't forget you can check out my transcript work at WrestlingHeadlines.com in the results sections. I cover Raw, SmackDAHN, NXT, and the PLEs for Wrestling Headlines, and I'll be doing that this Saturday for Clash of the Castle. Hope you guys enjoyed the PLE there. That should be a lot of fun on Saturday, a little afternoon shindig, if you will. And then you can follow me if you like on X at the Hoots Podcast. I'm at Joshie Lopez Music on Instagram. And if you want to advertise and be a partner with the Hoots Podcast, you can hit me up at the Hoots Podcast at gmail.com. With that being said, I'm Joshie. Remember, folks, be the authentic product that is yourself. Remember, nobody dictates the pace of your life but yourself and the man upstairs. I'm glad to be back home, but I can't wait to be back in Florida, too. On that note, this has been episode 417 of the Hoots Podcast. We'll recap what happened in Glasgow, Scotland next week as the road to 500 episodes continues. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Enjoy your Father's Day weekend, and I'll see y'all next week. Yeet.